Hey there, Synth Drones. Today we're going to talk about, do we need a Jupiter clone? Hi, I am James Drone, aka Pure Ambient Drone, and this is my channel where I vlog about synthesizers. So hit the subscribe button, tap the bell. That way you can keep up with all of my synth adventures, because this is more than just talking about synthesizers. This is a journey, an adventure, and I would love to share it with you. So jamesdrone.com is the place to be if you want to keep up with me. jamesdrone.com. I got music over there, synth patches, and all of the connections to my social media. jamesdrone.com. Do we need a Jupiter clone? Well, before we get into that, I want to tell you a little bit about an adventure I had this morning. Woke up around 4:30, 5 o'clock-ish, somewhere around there, and it was thunder and it was lightning, and man, the electricity went out in the house, and wind was blazing here in Missouri. And then this morning, after we went out to see what was going on, because we needed to get some oil, because we wanted to start up our generator to keep our refrigerator from, rotting all of our food, because it was getting like late in the day. Wow, it was almost noon before the electricity was turned on. So we had to get some oil. I was prepared for everything but the oil. I ran out of oil for the generator. Anyway, we actually got to see that there may have been a tornado that hit just a few blocks away from our house. Here's some video of that. There's some debris in this yard. And then over here. And there's the tree. Our thoughts and our prayers are out to those people. But let's get back to the question at hand. Do we need a Jupiter clone in this day and age? Now, I know it's cut and dry. Some of you are saying yes, and some of you are saying no. But there's more to it than that. First of all, the Jupiter 8 had 16 oscillators, 2 per voice. This was a mega monster 8-note polyphonic machine, beast, if you will, that revolutionized music as we know it today. So let me take you through some of my thoughts, and then you guys can leave your thoughts in the comment and explain your answer, okay? So this is the Roland System 8, and it has a ACB engine in it, if you will, a piece of software that emulates, guess what? Other synthesizers. And one of the synthesizers that it emulates is a Jupiter 8. Okay? They're called plug-outs. I'm not teaching anybody anything here. This synthesizer sounds phenomenal. And from those who have actually owned a Jupiter 8, I am told that this is as close as you can get to a Jupiter 8 without actually owning one. It's that good sounding, all right? So why in the world, with virtual technology, okay, a VA, virtual analog technology for those who really want to get it right, why in the world do we need to go back to the drawing board and build ourselves a true analog Juno clone, which we're all hoping that Behringer is going to make for us one day? Come on, be honest. Now, there's another argument to this. Before you jump to the comment section, watch this whole video, because I'm going to cover some ground. I may miss some things, but wait for me to miss it first. Down here, I have the DeepMind 12. And a lot of people say, well, this is the end-all of clones for the Juno Jupiter line. Because if you really wanted to, you could dig into the DeepMind 12 and you could get some really cool Jupiter sounds out of it. I don't know. I haven't experimented on that side of things very much. I have done some great Juno sounds out of it. I know there's some videos available online that show the Jupiter characters of the DeepMind 12. This is a 12-voice analog synthesizer, and it deserves respect, especially at the price point that one of these come in. I've seen these things as low as $600 on the used market, and at one time I saw them on sale for $699, brand new. That's phenomenal. Now there's another, okay, factor in this equation, and that is this. The music that was produced in the era that the Jupiter 8, the Jupiter 6 came along in was high octane synth music. I mean, the 80s music was driven so much by synthesizers that rock bands, including Quiet Riot, Van Halen, and Judas Priest, started putting them into their musical equations. Now, think about that for a moment. It was ripe, okay, for a mega beast of a synthesizer to be developed. It was the right time for this to happen, and I could see the motivation behind those who made it happen. Now, you could say, well, you know, James Drone, there's all kinds of music today that has the same stuff in it, synthesizers. That is true. But we have so many more choices today, including, I point towards my computer, software. Software ticks a lot of boxes, and it ticks a lot of people off too, I've found out. A lot of people don't even like to talk about software synths. A lot of people get upset when you mention software synthesizers. However, with that being said, a lot of people are using software synthesizers. But let's get back to the topic of hardware. Okay, so in the hardware world, we have the System 8, we have a Prophet 12, we have behind me a Moog One, 16 voices, wow. We have over here the Waldorf Quantum, we have the 16 voice Prologue, we have the Prophet X. Now, all of these synthesizers I just mentioned can do synthesis on a high level that was probably never even imagined in the days that Jupiters were being designed, especially pre-MIDI days. The Jupiter 8 came out and didn't even have MIDI at the time. So today we have a whole lot more choices, and I'm just talking about my studio right now. I haven't even mentioned all the other synthesizers that I'm sure all you synth drones know all about because you keep up with everything the way I do. Okay? So the question is, do we need a Jupiter or do we want a Jupiter? Well, I don't think, for me, myself, and I, that I need a Jupiter. But I would sure like to have one. I will tell you that right now. Now, there is another argument. Remember, I told you I was going to try to cover a lot of ground here, so let's not start commenting just yet. Wait until I touch on everything I'm going to touch on, because the other argument is this. Some people make the claim, and I say some people because not all people, make the claim that there is only one sound in the world that sounds like a Jupiter, and that, my friends, is a Jupiter. And if you want that sound, if you need that sound, if you love that sound, you need a real Jupiter or a clone. Which brings up another question. If only a Jupiter sounds like a Jupiter, how close does that clone have to be to the real thing to give you the real sound of a real Jupiter? See what I'm getting at? And not to mention, there's lots of software out there, okay? For all of you software haters, I know you're going to throw Rotten Tomatoes at me here in a moment. But there is software out there that I'm told emulates the Roland Jupiter 8 quite well. But there's purists out there. Purists who say they gotta have the real deal, okay? If it's not the real deal, then it's generic. Now, I'm that way with my soda pop, okay? I've got to choose between the two big names I'm not going to mention here on my channel. But one starts with a P and one starts with a C. And if I can't have those two name brands, and they're cola, I'm talking about when I'm talking about cola, I don't really enjoy my soda pop. Okay, those are the two colas that I want. I think you guys know what I'm talking about. So what do you guys think? Is the System 8 enough? Is the DeepMind 12 close enough to get things done? Or anything else? What about the Moog One? Okay, very powerful synthesizer. Somebody told me you don't need a Jupiter if you've got a Moog One. Somebody told me that. And they actually owned a Jupiter at one time, Jupiter 8. Or do you think that Behringer needs to clone it because we need it, not because we want it? The question is need. Now remember this, if you want something bad enough, it can turn into a need, right? All right. So that's my thoughts on it today. Until next time, I'm James Drone, aka Pure Ambient Drone. Hit that subscribe button, tap that bell, keep up with all of my synth adventures, give this video a like, and share it with someone today. Support my channel over at jamesdrone.com. I love all of you guys. Until next time, keep calm and synth on.